It was 3:07 a.m. when my phone started ringing. Not vibrating, not a soft buzz. Ringing loud enough to feel like it cut straight through the silence. And if you've spent over 3 decades working law enforcement like I did, you already know. Calls at that hour? They never bring good news. I reached over blindly, squinting at the screen. Unknown number. I almost ignored it. Almost. But something in my gut told me not to. Yeah, I answered, voice rough from sleep. For a second, there was nothing. Then I heard it. A shaky breath. Grandpa? That one word snapped me fully awake. Logan? I sat up instantly. What's going on? I'm at the precinct, he said, voice cracking. They arrested me. My chest tightened. What? For what? They're saying I attacked Rick, but I didn't. I swear I didn't. Rick. His stepfather. I felt something cold settle in my stomach. Are you hurt? I asked, already getting out of bed. There was a pause. Yeah. That was enough. I'm on my way, I said. Don't say anything to anyone, not a word, you hear me? Okay. The line went dead. I got dressed in under 2 minutes. Didn't even turn on the lights. Didn't need to. Old habits don't leave you. They just sit quietly, waiting. 32 years as a detective teaches you one thing better than anything else. When something feels off, it usually is. I grabbed my keys, my wallet, and then paused. In the back of my drawer sat something I hadn't touched in years. My old badge. Retired. Technically useless. But sometimes, symbols still carry weight. I slipped it into my jacket pocket anyway. The streets were empty. That eerie kind of quiet you only get right before dawn. Streetlights flickering. No traffic. Just the low hum of the engine and my thoughts racing faster than the car. Logan wasn't a troublemaker. Kid kept to himself. Straight A student. Never even got detention. So how the hell does he end up locked in a precinct at 3 a.m. for assault? Didn't add up. And then there was Rick. That guy always rubbed me the wrong way. Too smooth. Too confident. Always talking about connections and who he knows. People like that, they don't just talk. They use it. The station came into view. Same building. Same dull gray walls. Same flickering sign out front. I parked and walked in fast. The smell hit me immediately. Coffee, paper, and that faint disinfectant scent every station somehow has. At the front desk, a young officer barely looked up. I'm here for Logan Hayes, I said. I'm his grandfather. She typed something, unimpressed. Hold on. A few seconds later, a door behind her opened. And out walked someone I hadn't seen in years. Sergeant Doyle. Older now, heavier. But that same smug look was still there. Well, look who it is, he said. Didn't expect to see you back here. Cut it, I replied. Where's my grandson? He leaned against the counter casually. Kid's in holding, assault charge, pretty serious. I want to see him. We'll get to that. I stepped closer. No, we get to that now. For a moment, his smile faded. Just a little. Then he shrugged. Fine, 5 minutes. They walked me down the hallway. Same layout, same cold metal doors, same echo of footsteps. And then I saw him, sitting on the bench. Head down, shoulders tight. When he looked up, my hands clenched instantly. Bruised cheek, split lip, swollen eye. That wasn't from a scuffle. That was from getting hit. Logan! He stood up fast. Grandpa! I stepped inside and pulled him into a quick hug. He was shaking. Actually shaking. That told me everything I needed to know. What happened? I asked quietly. He wiped his face. Rick came home drunk again, he said. Started yelling, saying I took money from him. And you didn't? No, I didn't. His voice cracked. He got in my face. I told him to back off, and then he just... Logan stopped. His jaw tightened. He hit me. Silence. Heavy silence. And then? I asked. I pushed him off me, Logan said. He stumbled back, hit the table, and next thing I know, he's calling the cops saying I attacked him. Of course he did. Of course. Did your mom see any of this? I asked. He shook his head. She's out of town. Convenient. Too convenient. I exhaled slowly. Listen to me, I said. You did nothing wrong, and you're not staying here, I promise. I stepped back out. Doyle was waiting, arms crossed. Your grandson's got a temper, he said casually. We've got footage, too. Show me. He hesitated, then motioned me into his office. On his computer, he played a clip. Grainy. Living room angle. Rick standing there. Logan steps in. Shoves him. Rick falls. Video ends. I stared at the screen. That's it? That's what we've got. No, that's what you're showing me, I said. Where's the rest? That's the incident. It's edited. He leaned back. You getting paranoid in retirement? I didn't answer. But inside, everything clicked. This wasn't just a bad situation. This was controlled. Carefully. Deliberately. And Rick? He wasn't just lying. He was setting something up. I turned and walked out of the office, pulled out my phone, and dialed a number I hadn't used in years. It rang twice. Then, Detective Reyes. Still working late, huh? Pause. No way, she said. Is that you? Yeah, I replied. And I need your help. And just like that, this stopped being about one kid in a holding cell. This turned into something bigger, something dirty, something dangerous. And I had a feeling, by the time it was over, some people were going to wish they never picked this fight. The next 24 hours didn't just test my patience. They tested everything I believed about the system I had served for over 3 decades. Grace showed up at my house around noon. No warning, no call. Just the sound of tires screeching outside and a hard knock on the door like she was ready to break it down. Ethan froze at the kitchen table. That's Mom, he whispered. I took a breath and walked to the door. The second I opened it, she stormed in. Where is he? Her eyes were wild, tired, red, emotional, but behind all that, I saw something else. Denial. He's safe, I said calmly. That's what matters. Safe? She snapped. Carter is in the hospital, Ed. He says Ethan attacked him, and now the police are calling me about investigations and lawyers. What did you do? I stopped a lie from becoming the truth. She laughed, but there was no humor in it. You always do this, she said. You always think you know better than everyone else. Ethan stood up behind me. I didn't attack him, Mom. Her head snapped toward him. Don't, she said sharply. Don't start with that. That hit him harder than any punch Carter threw. I'm telling you the truth, Ethan said, voice shaking. He hit me first, like always. Like always? She repeated, confused. I stepped in. He's been abusing Ethan for months. Grace turned to me slowly. That's a serious accusation. It's a true one. Carter told me you've always had a problem with him, she said. That you never accepted him. I didn't trust him, I corrected. There's a difference. And now suddenly he's some kind of criminal? No, I said quietly. He's been one for a long time. You just didn't see it. Her expression cracked for a second. But then she shook her head. No, I know Carter. He wouldn't. Mom, Ethan cut in, stepping closer. Look at me. She hesitated. Then she looked. Really looked. The bruising. The swelling. The fear he couldn't hide anymore. Her face changed, but not enough. You could have gotten that from the arrest, she said weakly. That was the moment I realized something hard. Grace wasn't just confused. She was choosing not to see. Sit down, I said firmly. Surprisingly, she did. I pulled out my phone and placed it on the table. Watch this. I played the clip April had sent me that morning. Not the edited version Camacho showed. The real one. It started earlier. Carter yelling. Loud. Aggressive. Drunk. Ethan backing away, trying to defuse it. Then, Carter swinging first. Clear as day. The sound of impact echoed in the kitchen. Grace covered her mouth. The video continued. Ethan pushing him away in panic. Carter stumbling backward into the table. Then silence. I stopped the video. The room felt heavier than before. That's what really happened, I said. Grace didn't speak. She just stared at the table. Then at Ethan. Then back at the table again. He told me, she whispered. He told me Ethan attacked him out of nowhere. That's what people like him do, I said. They rewrite the story before anyone else can. Ethan's voice broke. I tried to tell you, Mom. Tears started falling down her face. I thought you were just angry or acting out. I was scared, he said. That silence between them? That was years of damage collapsing all at once. Grace stood up slowly. I need to go, she said. Go where? I asked. She hesitated, then answered quietly. Home. I stepped in front of her. No, I said, not alone. He's my husband. And Ethan is your son. That hit. Hard. She looked at Ethan again. Really looked this time. I'll go with you, I said. No, she said after a pause. I need to do this myself. I didn't like it, but I understood it. Call me the second anything feels off, I said. She nodded, then left. The next few hours dragged like hell. Ethan paced. I made calls. April was already moving fast, pulling official footage, filing for warrants, digging into Carter's background. And what she found didn't surprise me, but it still made my blood boil. Ed, she said over the phone, your instincts were right. Talk to me. Carter's got a pattern. My grip tightened. What kind of pattern? Complaints, she said. Nothing that stuck, no convictions, but enough noise to tell a story. Domestic? Some. Also fraud, intimidation, even suspected bribery. And Camacho? Connected, she said, financially. That didn't shock me. It confirmed everything. This wasn't just a bad arrest, I said. No, April replied. This was a setup. Around 6 p.m. my phone rang. Grace, I answered instantly. Talk to me. Her voice was shaking. He's gone. What do you mean? I went home, and everything important is missing. Documents, his laptop, even his safe is empty. I closed my eyes. He ran. Yes, she whispered. And Grace? There was a pause. Then she said it. I found something else. What? A folder, she said. Hidden. My instincts kicked in immediately. What's in it? Photos, records, names. Her voice dropped. And payments. Payments, that word again. How bad is it? I asked. Silence. Then, Ed, I think Carter's involved in something big. That night, everything changed. What started as a domestic case was turning into something much bigger. And I knew one thing for sure. This wasn't over. Not even close. The house didn't feel the same when I walked in that night. Not because anything had changed physically, but because now we knew the truth. And truth has a way of making everything heavier. Grace was sitting at the dining table, that folder spread out in front of her like it was something radioactive. Ethan stayed close to me. Didn't say much. Didn't need to. Show me, I said. Grace slid the folder toward me with trembling hands. Inside, documents, bank transfers, printed emails, photos, lots of photos, meetings in parking lots, handshakes that didn't look friendly, envelopes being passed around. And then I saw something that made my jaw tighten. Police uniforms, familiar faces, including one I already knew too well, Doyle. Yeah, I muttered. This just got bigger. Grace looked at me, eyes wide. What is all this? Corruption, I said simply. Organized, careful, and protected. Ethan leaned closer. What does that mean? It means, I said slowly, Rick wasn't just some abusive guy with a temper. I tapped the folder. He was part of something. About an hour later, April arrived. No uniform this time. Just plain clothes, but the look in her eyes. Sharp as ever. She didn't waste time. Let me see it. I handed her the folder. She flipped through it fast, too fast for most people to even process, but I knew that pace. That was someone connecting dots in real time. After a minute, she exhaled. Yeah, this is bad. How bad? Grace asked. April looked up. Bad enough that your husband didn't run because of the assault charge. She paused. He ran because he knows this can bury him. Silence. Heavy. Then Ethan asked the question no one wanted to say out loud. Are we in danger? April didn't sugarcoat it. Right now? Probably not immediate. Then she added, but you're definitely involved now. We sat down and started putting the pieces together. Carter wasn't just throwing his weight around at home. He had connections. Money flowing in ways it shouldn't. And Doyle? He wasn't just helping a friend. He was protecting an operation. Think about it, I said. If Carter gets exposed, he talks. If he talks, others go down. April nodded. And if those others are in law enforcement? She didn't finish the sentence. She didn't need to. Around midnight, my phone buzzed. Unknown number. I picked it up. Yeah? Silence. Then a voice. Low, calm, controlled. You should have stayed retired. I didn't react. Who is this? You're digging into things that don't concern you anymore. I leaned back in my chair. They concern me now. A pause. Then, walk away, take your family and forget all this. And if I don't? Another pause. Longer this time. That would be unfortunate. The line went dead. Ethan looked at me. Who was that? I met his eyes. Someone who's scared. Grace shook her head. That didn't sound scared. I gave a small, cold smile. People only threaten you when they feel you getting close. The next morning, everything moved fast. April brought in people she trusted. Not many, but enough. Clean officers, the kind that still believed in doing things the right way. The DA got involved. Search warrants were issued. Carter's house was locked down. Accounts flagged. Phones tracked. And Doyle? Suspended. Just like that. But Carter was still out there. And that was a problem. A big one. 3 days later, we got the break. April called me early morning. We found him. Where? Trying to leave the state. I didn't even hesitate. I'm coming. The scene was tense. Highway checkpoint. 2 patrol cars. 1 unmarked SUV. And Carter, standing there in cuffs. For the first time since I'd known him, he didn't look confident. He looked small. April walked over to me. He tried to run when they stopped him, she said. Didn't get far. I nodded. Good. Carter saw me. His expression shifted. Anger. Then something else. Something closer to fear. You did this, he snapped. I stepped closer. No, I said calmly. You did. You think this is over? He said. You have no idea how deep this goes. I leaned in slightly. Maybe not, I said, but I know this. I glanced at the officers around him. You're not protected anymore. That hit. Hard. Over the next few weeks, everything unraveled. Carter talked. Not at first. But pressure does things to people, especially when they realize no one's coming to save them. Names came out. Deals. Payments. Connections. And just like that, the whole system he relied on started collapsing. Doyle was arrested, along with several others. Internal investigations turned into criminal cases. News picked it up. Corruption ring exposed. Law enforcement officials under investigation. Local businessmen linked to illegal operations. It was everywhere. Back at my house, things were quieter. Not perfect, but better. Ethan was healing, slowly, physically, and mentally. Grace? She stayed. Not with Carter. With us. Trying to rebuild something she didn't realize she had almost lost. One evening, she sat across from me. I should have seen it, she said quietly. Maybe, I replied. But you didn't. She nodded. I just believed him. That's what people like him count on. Ethan walked in and dropped onto the couch. So it's over? I looked at him. Then at Grace. Then back at him. For them? I said. Yeah. I leaned back. Yeah, it's over. Then I added, but for us? I gave a small smile. It's just a new beginning. Weeks later, I got a call from April. All charges against Ethan officially dropped, she said. Clean record. Good. And Ed, yeah? You did the right thing. I paused. Looked around my quiet living room. At the life I almost let stay quiet. At the cost of truth. Yeah, I said finally. I know. Sometimes people think being quiet means being weak, that staying out of things means you're afraid. But the truth? Real strength isn't loud. It's controlled. It's patient. And when the moment comes, it speaks. And when it does, people listen.